little labor story for you. All right. We know that broadly, I guess, the Democrats are more on the side of labor than the Republicans are, although their record on this has been extremely mixed. But it turns out Republicans like Chuck Grassley actually make a much better case for the Democrats in labor. Here we have a clip from Wednesday, that would be yesterday, of Chuck Grassley warning that the Democrats want to do all kinds of bad things to help organized labor. Let's take a look.
The people that we're trying to get voted out of office here have voted for a bill that would repeal the Taft-Hartley Law of 1947, which in turn repeals 27 state right-to-work laws. And in other words, you got to join a union if you want a job. And it's unconstitutional from the standpoint that right of association ought to include the right of non-association under First Amendment. But we've got fun. That's already passed the House of Representatives. I hope you understand that. And if we get Chuck Schumer running the United States Senate, that's why we got to have her reelected. And they do away with the 60-vote rule that we have, the right-to-work laws, because it's number one on the AFL-CIO's list of things that they want to get done. So now start looking at your clock.
Do we think that the Democrats are actually going to do this, guys?
I mean, I wish.
I mean, it's good campaigning for Democrats to turn out the vote.
Right? Like, what Democrat is out there campaigning and saying, oh, yeah, we're going to repeal Taft-Hartley and right-to-work states, and it's going to be great.
And the filibuster.
Yeah, like...
Right. I mean, I think the only thing I've really heard in terms of, labor rights that I've seen, the at least the national campaign and Biden-Harris talk about is I know Harris is going out there with Bernie either yesterday or maybe later today to push for a $15 an hour federal minimum wage, which again, good, but too little too late. But, that's all I've seen in terms of anything directly related to helping workers.
Biden is officially calling to repeal Taft-Hartley, provisions that allow states to impose right-to-work laws.
Oh, he is.
Yes, but this is the thing with the Democrats. I mean, like they don't emphasize a lot of the stuff on the campaign trail.
Yeah, like what does it say? What does it say that the first we've heard of this is from Chuck Grassley?
Well, that we're not reading Biden's website, basically.
Yeah.
As President Biden will repeal the Taft-Hartley provisions that allow states to impose right-to-work laws.
There you go. Then I take back what I said. I retract it. Good for them. I do wish that they would be a little bit more out there. I mean, look, Chuck Grassley, what is he getting? He's getting his own. How many people are in that room over there? A bunch of Republicans clapping for him when he says that we got to stop them from doing this. But I mean, imagine how much
that really clarifies. Sorry to cut you off, but that really clarifies the difference between these two parties, which is that like one is a coalition of people that are applauding that, and one is a coalition of people that don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, and Republicans are the ones out there trying to, especially with Trump as the leader of the party, Mr. I'll never forget the blue collar forgotten men and women. They're supposedly pushing themselves as the pro worker party. We care for the people the Democrats left behind. But here they are, saying this. At least Chuck Grassley is. And they're clapping for it because those people who are in that room are not those blue collar workers.
No, that's done. I think the economic populism of Trump 2016 has definitely faded into the background to the degree that it existed. And it's more just playing the hits of racism and sexism too, but mostly racism. Cool story. But imagine if Biden actually put that in an ad instead of just making it about his character. Like it might help. I don't know. We'll see. But
Right.
anyway.
But I would just like to end, good for the Biden campaign for having those as part of its plan. I did not know that. Thank you for digging into there, Matt. Sometimes I'm wrong. Look at that. Anyway,
I'll retract it when I see it, though. Like,
yeah,
seriously.
Yeah, but
you can put a lot of stuff in a platform, and that doesn't mean you have to do it.
That's true. But here's some breaking news, actually. Glenn Greenwald just resigned from The Intercept.
What?
And I can't read. I don't have time to read the Substack that he wrote. The newsletter article he wrote on his new Substack, greenwald.substack.com. But in the summary on his tweet thread, it says, "My resignation from The Intercept. The same trends of repression, censorship, and ideological homogeneity plaguing the national press generally have engulfed the media outlet I co-founded, culminating in censorship of my own articles. The final precipitating cause is that The Intercept's editors censored an article I wrote this week, refusing to publish it unless I remove all sections critical of Joe Biden, the candidate vehemently supported by all Intercept editors involved in this effort at suppression. But the pathologies, a liberalism and repressive mentality that led to the bizarre spectacle of my being censored by my own media outlet are ones that are not unique to The Intercept. I'll be doing my journalism at Substack for now on. Subscribe here."
Damn.
I don't know exactly what's going on. I hope that what he's talking about is he tried to write about the nepotism that Hunter Biden basically benefited from, because that would be 100% in his right to talk about. What I hope, obviously any of this is in his right to talk about, but he would be right in his discussion of that. But I hope he's not trying to push any of this far right smear campaigns.
Well, yeah, I think we can judge on the merits now that he's free to publish what he wants about Joe Biden. We can judge that and see what he wasn't allowed to publish. I think.
Right.
Like I find it a little bit rich though to paint all of this on The Intercept when to see the Daily Caller retweet it. Like, you think the Daily Caller tolerates ideological diversity? I think there might be some illiberalism there. And I'd also just say this whole thing about the Section 230 thing, which maybe we want to get into, Binder, with the crosshairs on it, but with Zuckerberg, right? And these media monopolies. But I have a problem with Greenwald's reaction when he blames journalists for that. You guys got what you want, journalists. As if the industry that Zuckerberg has been vampirically leeching billions of dollars from is in position to make Facebook do anything about that. So I have some trouble with, I think, certain, I guess, angles of departure for Greenwald here. But look, he has an opportunity now to put up, and if he, has something we need to pay attention to with Biden, he has that opportunity to make us pay attention to it now. So Godspeed. And it seems like The Intercept, I imagine their argument, and they'll probably have to make one here, is going to be that some of people were upset about certain things Glenn Greenwald was doing editorially on places like Twitter. Really wanting people to take the Bob Belinsky's story seriously, retweeting Michael Tracy all the time. Now he has freedom to do that, and The Intercept doesn't have to be embarrassed by it. And maybe this is the best for everybody.
Yeah.
And right. Unfortunately, this comes at the expense of the good reporting that he did on Brazil, and he doesn't have the protection of whatever, lawyers that The Intercept has and everything at its disposal. Right. And, if he's friendly with the Daily Caller, I'd like to see him get those articles on Bolsonaro placed there.
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
I would like to know what this is, because The Intercept did not shy away from reporting on the Tara Reade story and a number of other stories I could think of that were, critical of the Democrats.
Yeah, Greenwald is someone who, in my opinion, has done such an enormous amount of good work that, usually when he goes on these, right-leaning opinions, I sort of let that slide. Although I'll criticize it and disagree with it, but it doesn't really affect my overall. Yeah, it doesn't affect my overall opinion on Greenwald. There's some other people who are going, who are going way too far right, who I used to respect a lot more. But Greenwald, I feel has been fairly. There's certain things, like I said, that he swings that way, but generally, I think the good has always outweighed the disagreements I have with Greenwald.
Well, if he's anything like Matt Taibbi, I'm sure he will use his Substack as a chance to do really rigorous, independent journalism and not just whine about cancel culture.
Yeah, Taibbi is exactly who I was referring to as someone I'm very disappointed in. He is. I don't. So far, I don't think he is on the same level as Greenwald in terms of what I just described. Greenwald has not strayed that far as Taibbi has.
I mean, they're working together, I think, is what Greenwald said. I believe that's right. They're going to be working on Substack stuff together. And like, I mean, I agree. I think Greenwald and Taibbi, I value a lot of their previous work. And I think I just really disagree with a lot of their punditry. I think it's short-sighted.
Right. And I think the
so
media criticism should stay on a personal blog and not, some outlet, which seems like that's what's going to be happening.
Right.
Who cares? No, things like this just make me realize that Sam's like pretty good for a Gen Xer.
Right.